Hey guys at Beat Academy. So as promised, here is my video breakdown of the remix that I did for the song The Secret Places that I am producing and mixing and mastering for Christina Lilly. So I'm just going to give a quick breakdown of everything going on in this remix. And let's just listen to it real quick.
You dig deep down, you break new ground, you shake foundations, you dig deep down, you break new ground, in your secret places, secret places. You dig deep down, break new ground. Shake foundations, dig deep down, break new ground, secret places,
So one of the things that was talked about the most was the ARP going on here, and I wanted to break down what all is happening. And something that I've been inspired by both Ill Factor and others is this idea of layering the synths. So the two primary synths that I have, they're from they are all from IK Multimedia. They're from their Syntronic series. And the first ARPy, the high part that you hear is using Trancy and Hero. Hero comes from the Mini Moog set, which I love all of the sounds that come from there. And I forget which one Trancy comes from. But here's just what Trancy sounds like when we hit the drop. And here's Hero. And you get both Trancy and Hero together for that high ARP sound. And then I took both of them and I pitched them down a couple of octaves. So we have, I not pitched them down. In the MIDI, I just moved the whole MIDI down 2 octaves. And so here we have the Trancy low part. And then same thing, Hero, the low part. And those two together. And then you put all 4 of those together, and you get this really rich, lush ARP sound. And some of that ducking sound you hear, I have a kick drum side chaining into a compressor to kind of give it that extra bit of movement, as Ill Factor would call it. And then I just have a pad underneath. I took all the low end out of that pad because I didn't want to get things too muddy. I wanted more of that pad just to kind of fill out some space. So with all of those together, And then, as you can see, my cleverly titled Wub Dub. So what I did was I took an analog. I just took an analog bass sound, again from Sample Tank from IK Multimedia, and it's a bass sound that when you play it, it just goes, it just hits a mono note and then it phases into a stereo. And so I ran it through two different distortions. I ran it through a bit destroyer, and then I ran it through an amp head to really get it all messy. And then I put an LFO underneath it, and I automated the LFO. And so that's what this sounds like. And so you hear that with the ARP, it adds a little bit more excitement to it. And one thing that I've learned about synths and everything is everything needs to be about layers. And so I did the same thing with bass. I actually have two different bass. Again, pretty much all the synth sounds come from Sample Tank or from their Syntronic series in one way, shape, or another. So we have this Azure bass, which is, it's very like pokey and punchy. And I added an analog bass to it to kind of fill out a little bit more. And as you can hear, the analog bass, it has a great low rumble to it, but there's no attack to it. So I blend the Azure and the analog to get this kind of punchy bass sound. You can hear it especially in verse 3, or not verse 3, but in the verse section with the whole mix.
Secret places of my heart.
So with that. And I kept the layering idea going with all of the different drums going on. So here we have the, let me pull open. So I'm using the 900 series. This is all the sounds that I'm using from Sample Tank. So I was mentioning that the Trancy, so yeah, that's just from, this is just from their normal, what comes with Sample Tank when you unlock all of Sample Tank. So I was using the 900 series that you can hear here. And I blend that with an acoustic drum set, which is the pop rock set from Sample Tank. Because I like how fat that snare sound can get. And what you'll see is with the pop rock set is I give it a lot of compression through the channel strip that they have. And then I give it some more compression with a 76. And so it's just all about making it really fat. Don't really do much in the way of EQ except for giving it a little bit more shelf to it. But Other than that, not doing a whole lot. And then I have a second pop rock kit, again, just compressing it, but this time I go all out on the compression. And this one is doing a very fast beat. And it sounds really out of place until you hear it blended with these. And where I was talking about my sidechain kick. So here's my sidechain kick along with a snare. And these are impact sounds that come with Studio One. And this is just a bit more of like a more old school kind of kick or kit. And I like the sound when blended with everything here. And then for this other percussion part here, this was something that I had written for another song. And, excuse me, what I did was the other song was in a different tempo. So I took this piece, I sped it up for this section. But then when we hit the verse and chorus section, I'm cutting it in half. So it sounds, it adds an extra layer when it's going into that verse, and then the second chorus and third chorus just kind of it adds a little bit more, gives some more movement going on. And then a piano, it's another piano sound that comes with Studio One. I did another ARP with the piano. This is running through the chord changes of the verse, but I have it doing in sevenths. They're all seventh chords. So as it's doing the running, it's just adding a little extra timbre to it more than anything else, just to create some more mood rather than just being major and minor chords. And then the reverse piano I made using actually the same piano. I bounced it down to audio. I added a lot of reverb and a little bit of saturation to it, and so then this is what you get. So a great little effect going from the end of this. And then this buildup here is another sound that I made. This is the sound of metal being dragged on concrete. I took it and it's just, I took it and as it's going through, I pitch it up and I've run it through a little bit of saturation and I added an LFO to it. And that's the builder. I've used this in a couple of different things. I like the way that it sounds. You can't tell that that's metal being dragged on concrete. It just, once you warp it and everything, it just makes this really cool, haunting sound. That part there, it's kind of self-explanatory. I took her vocals that she sings in the chorus. She doesn't sing it on quarter note beats. It's syncopated. So I just took it, I pitch shifted it down a whole octave, and then I just cut it up to make it fit a quarter note. And I have an LFO going through it as well. It's just cycling one whole measure, so it kind of gives it that little taper at the end. And then the piano pad that you hear, this was actually recorded with the song. Originally, it was a piano and a pad that actually plays throughout the whole song. The pad is just a Ghost piano pad from, you guessed it, IK Multimedia. And it adds a little extra layer when she's playing just the piano. But I took it, and it just sounds really great on its own. It has that really haunting sound, almost choir-esque. And it sounds really good at the end when it's just her and the piano singing.
You dig deep down, you break new ground, you shake foundations, you dig deep down.
That's because I have the tempo change going on there, and there's an analog delay on her voice, so when it changes tempo, it changes pitch too. And then these guitar parts were the only other thing that was recorded with the original song. These come in, excuse me, much later, and I have them going through a low pass that's automated.
Shake foundations, you dig.
And then this here, I was just messing around with some ideas where I printed all of her effects, and then I took one of them and I turned it around. I reversed it, and I really liked it as an intro.
You dig deep down, you break new.
Kind of adds just a little extra hauntingness going on. So that's a real quick and dirty breakdown of the mix that I did. These here, as you can see, so this is all of the automation that I did on all of my buses and everything. These are all the different pads and things going on. Here's all of my bussing over here. Most of this bussing is holdover from when I did the original track. So you see like drums, low end and high end, which I'm not using at the moment. It's just all going straight to drums. But then, I have, the bass, synth stuff. It's my guitar.
You dig deep down, you break new ground, you shake foundations, you dig deep down, you break new ground, in your secret places, secret places.
You can see here's where my sidechain compression is. It's on this last bus before everything, before it goes through all the limiting. One final thing is I have two chorus parts here, and this chorus part is going through an auto filter. And I've automated it to mix in. And you'll hear when she sings this part, as it starts to automate in, you'll hear the effect it puts on her vocals.
You break new ground, you shake foundations, you dig deep down, you break new ground in your secret places,
You especially hear it more here. So as we're ending out that chorus going into the second drop. It's just a very subtle effect. I liked it when I added in there, and when you're listening to it, you can kind of hear it subtly, and it's just a really fun thing to do. So this is the quick and dirty mix. I'm going to go ahead and leave with a playthrough of it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and if you have any questions, let me know, and or if you think that there's something that I could do to improve this mix, let me know.
You dig deep down, you break new ground, you shake foundations, you dig deep down, you break new ground in your secret places,
Congratulations.